Yo. Welcome to another episode of the CheckDown, people, man. Hey, I'm here with my host and my co-host, or whatever you call them. I still don't understand it. Hey, J Mick, can you explain it to me? So when I say I'm your host, am I supposed to say I'm here with my host or with my co-host?
I think it's you're supposed to say with your co-host
Uh,
because I think that's
But
the best way.
aren't we all hosts though? All right, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm your
I
host,
mean,
Smitty. I'm here with my co-host, Kicker, man, AFC Championship. You know what I mean? MVP. We all know it. How's feeling, bro?
feel real good, man. Like I ain't gonna lie, I'm still tired and sore from last week, but hey, I'm definitely gonna be ready for the ball, man. The ball gonna be lit. Around this time, I'm gonna be down by the stadium. You feel me? Shit just won't be lit, man. I'm just ready for real. I'm just ready for the excitement for real, for real.
And I'm here with my other co-host, Jay Mick. Number two overall pick, man. You know, new coach. Things on the up and up for y'all, man, right now, man. How you feeling though?
we feel all right, man. I'm just trying to see who we're gonna hire as our OC and our DC. But things are progressing. Other coaches getting hired, so it's it's all good. Like we got like four new black coaches in the league that's about to be coaching next year. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah, man. And me, you know, got Vic Fangio. I kept Nick Sirianni. Thought he probably should have been fired. He should have been held accountable for the downpours of the season too, not just the coordinators. But he retained his job. I don't know, man. I guess we're gonna see what we capitalize on in the draft because the way we ended the season wasn't pretty, man. It was very disgusting. I still got a bad taste in my mouth from the situation. I hope the team feels the same way because we got to come back and perform. But hopefully Fangio can do something. But we replacing everybody, man. So everybody's job is in jeopardy at this moment. So if you're a position coach, good riddance. Go find a job. If it shit, I don't even know. You might be the equipment manager and get fired. How they feeling in the front office right now? So it's a lot going on, man. But hey, I wanted to holler at y'all about the coaching hires. So far, Jim Harbaugh been hired to the Chargers. Uh, David Canellis got hired to the Panthers. Gerard Mayo to the Patriots. Um, Antonio Pierce to the Raiders. He was already there, the intern. He got the job. Brian Callahan to the Titans. Raheem Morris to the Falcons. I definitely thought that was a Bill Belichick job, but he obviously didn't end up there. Out of those candidates, man, who was the best hire so far? Mick, what you think? You muted, bro.
You on mute? You on mute?
You on mute?
Oh, sorry about that. Personally, all I was saying was I think the best hire is the dude that ain't got hired yet is Ben Johnson. But for the dudes that got hired, I probably it's gonna surprise people, but I think it's the Panthers coach, Canales, because if you look at his history, he's the one that coached Geno Smith in Geno Smith's best year when he played for the Seahawks 2 seasons ago. And then he also coached Baker last season, and Baker had a pretty good season. So he's been able to coach up quarterbacks, and now he goes into that Panther situation with Bryce Young, who people are kind of down on, and I think he's going to be able to coach that kid up. So I'm gonna say him.
Who you got, kicker?
Uh, I ain't gonna lie, yo. I've been so locked in on my team for real. I ain't really been paying attention to it though. But um, if I say who was the good hire so far, I say like Jim Harbaugh.
My only
It's,
problem with Harbaugh is the adjustment back to the league. I think it's gonna take
yeah,
him
but
a
my,
year.
my thing is like I go back to like when he came and did like how San Francisco was like they was trash. You know what I mean? They was like in a down season and he brought them back And I feel like the Chargers, like they probably just missing like a couple pieces. You feel what I'm saying? And like, whereas I feel like he probably can get him over that hump. But I mean, it might be tough though. But even that other dude, what's the OC from Tampa Bay?
And
Oh,
Canales.
Yeah,
Canales.
him. I feel like he a good hire too. So I mean,
I
but
think for me
I
it's
definitely say I say Jim though, because I
I
feel
think
like Jim probably can get like another a running back. Might probably try draft like Blake Corum or some shit like that. You feel me? Work on the defense, and I feel like they'd be good for real. I
I
mean, but
think
I
I
do
think
agree
it's
with
gonna
Jay Mick
be
say though. I feel like Ben
Raheem.
Johnson is gonna be like the best like
Yeah, he probably
new
will be the
hire
best.
whenever that time come for real, for real.
He probably will be for sure. I'm gonna take Raheem Morris, man. If he can get his staff together, I think that could be a good. I think that could be a good one. The only thing about that Atlanta job is you got to convince the front office to either move up to get the guy you want, or you gotta hope the guy you want gonna be where you picking at. And in a situation where you need a few extra pieces, I don't know. Like I would go with quarterback, because I don't think Ritter is gonna get the job done. I don't know if Raheem Morris, and I heard he's bringing Zach Robinson with him, which is somebody I wanted for my OC job. So um, they're gonna implement the Sean McVay slash whatever system out there. I think that's gonna be a good situation though. But I also do like David Canales because they kind of mad in Tampa right now that he gone. So he obviously was a big part of their success. Um, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
but
it's gonna be an interesting year though.
but I think Canales was going to leave anyways because like Canales after last year, the previous year with Gino, people were talking about I mean, would he get a head coaching job even though he was only the quarterbacks coach for I mean the Seahawks. So I mean, he coupled the Geno Smith year. I mean, because when he left the Seahawks, like, the Seahawks fans were kind of mad about it because they wanted him to stay for Geno. And so then when he went down to Tampa Bay and he did this thing with Baker, I mean, the writing was on the wall pretty much. I mean, he wasn't. I didn't think he was going to stay there. I mean, I didn't think he was going to take the Panthers job, but hey. And then I thought he might go back to Seattle or something, but that just never happened. So
Like me, you was talking about yesterday, Jamie. Like those are two interesting jobs. Seattle and the Commanders are so quiet on the forefront. I think they might be pursuing the same guy.
I mean, I've definitely heard talks about them both. I've heard Seattle could be in on Ben Johnson. I've definitely heard that the Commanders are, looking on Ben Johnson. But I mean, Seattle might do some like off the wall stuff because I think I was saying it like they haven't hired a coach that's out there. You got Belichick, you got Vrabel, and you got Slovic, who's the OC out of Houston. So I mean, you got like people that have like interviewed for head coaching jobs that's out there, and Seattle ain't really interviewed none of those guys. So maybe their guy is on one of these four teams that's still playing. So
I think somewhere low key, they first guy is the same guy, and then maybe it differs after that guy, but they're gonna wait until that guy get hired before you see one of them change their hand. That's my opinion on the situation. 'Cause it just seems so quiet, and since you said something about it, I've been just like looking through it, and it's like you don't really see reports from either team, like who's the guy, who's they looking to hire. You know what I mean? You see a few interviews, but not many interviews. It's real quiet.
yeah, I mean, I mean, like the Commanders. I mean, like when they hired like Adam Peters as their GM, he was like one of the most popular GMs that was out there to get hired for a GM spot. They hired that boy right away. I mean, I think he might have been one of the first GMs to actually, like get hired in like the new cycle. And then after that, it was just like silence. So we just gotta see what happens. I mean, and we can find out about Ben as soon as what Monday, because if the Lions lose that game, I mean, he might have a job by Monday or Tuesday. So
Oh, if they lose, the floodgates are gonna open immediately. Man, we're gonna get into this first game, man. We got Chiefs versus Ravens. Ravens favored by 4. Over under is 44.5. The mic is on you, kicker.
And it's on me. Or
Kicker.
Yo, oh
It's
shit,
on you.
my bad, bro. I was texting.
You good? It's on you.
I mean, you know who I'm riding with, man. I'm riding with my team. I just feel like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I know the Chiefs, they been there but 5 times. I know they locked in, they more like experienced. But I feel like we should have been in the dance like these last couple years. You feel me? Like we can go back to 2019. I felt like we was a team that always was competing, but injuries helped us back. You feel me? Some fans want to say OC, you know what I mean, coordinators held us back too, which is also understandable. But I just feel like our team more locked in. We got a good defense, offense clicking. You feel me? We got some receivers that can do their thing. We ain't just a one man team like on the offense. Just got to focus on one person. You feel me? So I definitely like the Ravens -4. I actually like the Ravens -11.5. Um, some props I like. I like Lamar over 50 yards rushing. Gus Edwards anytime touchdown. Rashad Bateman 25 receiving yards. Odell 25 receiving yards. Justice Hill 2 receptions. Um, and did I say Gus Edwards anytime touchdown?
I don't think you
If I
did, but
no, I don't think he
if
you
I
can
did.
ain't
hit it
say
now.
that, yeah, that and that I mean that's the ticket I was going to choose. I really wasn't going to put no Chief players on there, but if I had to choose Chief players, give me Pat Mahomes 200 passing yards, Kelsey like 50, give me Pacheco 40 yards, and give me like Rasheed Rice 40 receiving yards.
It's on you, Mick.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much when this matchup got set last week, I kind of just looked at I looked at both teams, and I just think the Ravens just I mean, when you look at the complete roster, like not like because a lot of people like to look at the Ravens quarterback, Chiefs quarterback, saying she's got a better quarterback or whatever. I mean, when you look at the teams, the Ravens are just a more complete team to me. Like, like they're more complete on offense and defense and special teams. And that's not taking nothing away from Patrick Mahomes or, Andy Reid of the Chiefs. I mean, they have a really good team, obviously, because they're in the AFC Championship game for the 6th year in a row. Um, but it's just like to me, the Ravens team is more complete. And what this game kind of remind me of is that 2013 AFC Championship game. It was either 13 or 14 when it was the Patriots in Denver. And like Denver had the more complete team, but the Patriots had Tom Brady, and a lot of people was picking the Patriots because they had Tom Brady. But I mean, when they played that game in Denver, Denver beat them because Tom Brady didn't have a lot of wide receivers to throw to. And I feel like the parallels between that game and this game is kind of crazy, like how they're the same. So I'm taking the Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens -4. Um, and for me, like the keys to the game, and I mean, I was taking them well before I found out that Joe Tooney was out yesterday, and Joe Tooney being out for them is a big loss. I mean, because Joe Tooney's like an all pro. He's an all pro guard. And I mean, like it's hard to replace all pro interior linemen, and I get it that, they have rotational pieces that I mean, I forgot the guy's name that's gonna start instead of Joe Tooney, but there's gonna be drop off. And and the other thing is the Ravens got one of the best DCs in the league. And so he's been able to take advantage of teams all season long with not even just blitzing, but like the way that he simulates pressure. And then when you add that in, with the Chiefs tackles to me, the Chiefs tackles are the weakness of the line. And then you couple that with Joe Tooney being on, I just think it's a bad combination. And then I mean, I mean, I don't think the Ravens are going to beat them by like 20 or nothing like that, but I do think they're going to win. I do think they're going to win by the -4. And the other thing is to win in the bank, I don't think a lot of people understand, like to go into Baltimore and win there, it's not an easy thing to do, especially not in the playoffs. I mean, my team has, I mean, been there and done that, and the 2010s or whatever, but it's just not an easy place to play. Um, so I mean, um, prop wise, I'm gonna take Lamar Jackson for 40 rushing yards. I'm gonna take Zay Flowers to get in the end zone. I'm also gonna take Lamar to get in the end zone. Um, I'll take I'll take Isaiah Likely for 25. Um, the Mark Andrews, I'm not sure how much he's gonna play, but I think I'll just ride him low, like take him on the low end, and I'm gonna take him for 25 yards. And then on the
It's
Chiefs,
negative. So look, some funny stuff, right? And I'm looking at the line. So for to take OBJ for 25 is plus money, but to take Mark Andrews for 25 is negative money. Like this man coming off an injury, broke leg, all types of crazy stuff. He should be negative money on the on the receiving yards, man.
I
It's
mean, but I
weird.
mean, OBJ is not like the thing is like for me, I feel like OBJ is like a game plan, specific. Like there's certain games that he gets off. I mean, he could get off in this game, but I
I
just
took it
think
for
the
20.
Chiefs. Yeah, I mean the Chiefs got some of the better quarterbacks and the cornerbacks in the league. So I think that's why it's plus money for OBJ. Um, but yeah, like on the Chiefs side, let me get I'm gonna take Mahomes for 200 passing yards and a touchdown. Last week I picked Travis Kelce to get in the end zone. He did that for your boy, so I mean I appreciate him for that. But I'm gonna take Rashid Rice to get in the end zone this week. And I'm also going to take MVS's yards. I think his yards are normally at 14, like the overs at 14, 15 yards every week. He had a pretty good week last week. And so I think he's going to go over on his yards this week. And pretty much for him, that's pretty much just one pass. You just got to hope
14
that
and a half.
14 and a half. Yeah, you got to hope he catches one pass. That's it. And I also think that Pacheco gets in the end zone too. I think that covers everything that I want to bet on in that game.
All right. So I've been kind of plotting on this game. I've been back and forth, man. I've been up and down. Come like, dang, you don't want to bet against Pat. Then you also, you know what I'm saying. You see the deficiencies in the team, and you like, it come a time where you run into a team you just can't overcome it. I think that happens on Sunday, man. I think the Ravens just got a little bit too much firepower, a little bit too many bullets in the gun. Um, the defense is probably gonna be going crazy. They physical up front. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't see it being crazy, but I am taking the Ravens -4. Um I took let me see right now what I took. Let me make sure. I want to get y'all nothing I ain't take. I just took that MVS too. I took Zay Flowers for 41 and a half, OBJ for 20 and a half. I took Patrick Mahomes for 200. Give me Lamar Jackson for 50 rushing yards. Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown. What else I took? And I took Mark Andrews for 25. I kind of want to take somebody else, but I don't really know. But give me the Ravens, man. I think that's gonna be the best situation, man. Ravens -4. Uh, we'll be talking about the Super Bowl. I'm assuming here next time we see each other, man. I guess I'm hoping. My money on it, to be honest. I mean, I, I put money on. I did put a little money on Ravens winning the Super Bowl, man. Maybe about 3 weeks ago, man. I just wanted to see what it played out like. It was a little plus money at the time, you know,
It's
but
kind of hard. It
maybe
was plus money
about
when,
four
when they're
weeks
the number
ago.
one seed, though. It's kind of crazy, though.
No, no, it was about 4 weeks ago. I think it was
Oh,
still
yeah.
when the Dolphins had the opportunity to get the number one seed. It was
Okay.
before they clinched it. It wasn't but like I think like plus 100 though. It wasn't nothing crazy. I
Yeah,
put a
but I
little
mean,
I put a
still to
little
be one of the top two teams in the AFC and they still plus money is it's. I mean, it's interesting. Say that.
It was crazy because I want to say maybe hold on, let me see.
The only team I think that's minus right now to win the Super Bowl has been like the 49ers for real.
Yeah, it was the 49ers. The 49ers was minus like 250, 400 or something that when I did the bet. Cause at the time the Ravens had the second best odds and it was like plus 100 though. I ain't putting nothing but like $50 on it. I just want to see what it played out like. All right. This next game, man. All right, so we got the Lions versus the 49ers. 49ers favored by 7. Over under is 51.5. It's gonna be interesting, man, because J Mick, I still ain't picked nobody. Cause like I want to pick the team everybody think gonna win, right? It's like easy to pick the Niners. Everybody think they gonna win, but it's like the Lions seem so hungry. They seem so motivated. They seem so ready to play. They seem like they got everything riding on this. Like to me, it's like an interesting matchup because you got the team like the 49ers who do it on a regular basis. Like I just seen a chart. I think in the last 10 years they've been in like four Super Bowl, four NFC championship games. The last like 10 years. And it's like when you got a team like that, it's hard to bet against them. It's hard to go against the grain. It's hard to pick anybody else. But I'm gonna take the Lions plus 7, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna ride with the Lions today, man, because I just got a feeling like Jamar Gibbs, Demo, Amara St. Brown, Sam Laporta, a little J Mo. You know what I mean? They got a little bit over there. They can kind of line up decently against the 49ers and kind of exploit some of them weaknesses, man. But you also know, I'm saying plus 7 because I don't think it's gonna be uh I think you're gonna still need to save your money just in case. Cause it could come down to a field goal game but I like I like I like that though. I like the Lions plus 7. Jamie, what you think?
I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, the universal pick is the Niners minus the 7, I think it's on some books it's 7.5 now. Yesterday they said that Debo's going to play. I mean, my only question about Debo is how much is he going to play? Like, so whenever you get players that get hurt previous week and then they come into a new game, I always ask myself, they're going to play, but how long they going to play for, and can they make it throughout the duration of the game? Um, but yeah, like everybody's on the Niners, man, and I get it. Like the Niners are playing at home. They're coming off playing not so well last week, so you figure that they're going to play better this week. That's just what you figure. And I just don't think a lot of people giving the Lions much of a chance. And I get it. I mean, like when you have McCaffrey and Ayuk and Kittle and Debo, I mean, like the 49ers have a long list of, weapons that they have on offense, and their defense is good too. I mean, like the defense has a lot of guys on the line. Like they got some of the best linebackers in the league. Um, Secondary is not the strongest part of their defense, but I'm not gonna say it's bad either. But I mean, they do struggle from time to time. I mean, not every game, but from time to time. Um, and if you could draw something up, I mean, to confuse that secondary, then you might be a little successful. Um, but I'm kind of with you, man. Like, I don't know if the Lions going to win the game, but I think that the game will be close enough that they're going to be able to cover 7 points. So I'm going to take the Lions plus the 7. Um, but I'm not really that sure they're going to win the game. Like, I think the game's going to be close in the first half, and then I think the Niners might get up on them in the third quarter, and then I think the Lions make it close in the end to kind of give you like a backdoor cover. That's kind of how I see the game. Now, I mean, what I'm betting on for the game, I'm gonna take Purdy. I'm gonna take Purdy and Jared Goff for 225 yards and one touchdown. Um, I think on the 49ers offensive side, I think the middle of the field is going to be pretty open. So I think Kittle's going to have a really good game this game. So I'm going to take Kittle for 60 yards and a touchdown. I also think Brandon Ayuk gets about 40 yards receiving. I'm going to leave Debo alone. I'm not really going to touch him. I might do a single bet on him, maybe closer to the game, like maybe right before the game starts. I'm going to take CMC for 50 yards. You got to remember that the Lions have one of the better running defenses in the league statistically. So you might want to you might not want to go crazy with like the CMC like rushing yards. Like normally I would bet them for like 80, 90 yards, but I'm gonna keep it conservative because they're going against a pretty good run defense. On the line side, I already said I want to take Jared Goff 225 and a touchdown. Um, I'm gonna take Gibbs to get in the end zone. I'm gonna take Gibbs and Montgomery each to get 25 rushing yards. I'm gonna take Sam Laporta. I'm gonna take Sam Laporta for 40 yards and a touchdown. I'm gonna take St. Brown for 50. And then the guys that you don't really hear about, I'm intrigued by Jawan Jennings over 16 and a half. Like he had a really good game last week when Debo went out. So I'm intrigued. I'm not gonna put that on my parlay, but I might single bet that. And then the other guy that I'm intrigued by is Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is over his 28 and a half. If they hit him on one deep pass, he can get that in one pass. So I'm kind of intrigued, but that's why so I might do a solo on that too.
Kicker.
Yeah, I like the Lions in this one. I definitely like both quarterbacks that throw for a touchdown. Like 225. Um, Give me Gibbs 25 receiving yards. Montgomery 40 rushing yards. Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. Um, and Brandon Ayuk 50 plus receiving yards. That's about it.
Oh, and someone
Right.
in the chat mentioned Zach Ertz. I completely forgot about Zach Ertz. I think Zach Ertz anytime touchdown right now was plus 750. So if you're feeling a little bit adventurous with, I mean, Zach Ertz his first game with his first game with Detroit. You feel a little adventurous? I mean, and you could throw a little sprinkle on that too.
I did two same game parlays, man, for this week. I got like I got 25 on each game, man. Fucking my $50 play out. So the one for the Ravens, if it hit, well, I'm gonna be pretty happy, man, next week. Yeah.
And
Uh,
what are the odds on that?
Huh? So I got Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown, Patrick Mahomes one passing touchdown, Lamar Jackson 50 rushing yards. I took your MVS 15 receiving yards, Mark Andrews for 25 receiving yards, OBJ for 20 receiving yards, Patrick Mahomes for 200 passing yards, Ravens -4, Rasheed Rice anytime touchdown, Gus Edwards anytime touchdown.
And what's the complete odds on that?
The plus 15,000.
Damn, 15,000. That's crazy. I mean, if you bet 25 on that, that's a good piece of change.
Hello,
uh-huh.
I'd be a pretty nice man. Yeah. I mean, and I took the shit. I took less bet. I took more bets on the. I guess I took better odds. Then I took Jared Goff plus 200. Uh, Lions plus 7.5. Christian McCaffrey anytime. Christian McCaffrey for 50. Jamar Gibbs anytime. Sam Laporta anytime. Sam Laporta for 50. Amara St. Brown for 75. Brock Purdy for 200. David Montgomery for 50. Jamar Gibbs 25 rushing yards.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
not a
mean,
bad
yeah,
deal. This is possible.
I'm gonna still shake something up for you know. Last week, man. I went 4-0 on the divisional round, hoping I could run it back. Man. I
Yeah,
ain't missed a game last week.
I think I went 3-1 last week. Like I had picked the Bills, and they had kind of screwed me last week. I mean, it wasn't for the Bills, I'd have been perfect.
Boy, I don't know what made me go with the Chiefs, boy, but I went with the Chiefs. But this week I couldn't do it. I was like, nah. Last week it worked out. This week I'm going the other way. I usually
Yeah,
run it back, but I just don't see it, man. Lamar Jackson, man. The only way you can really defend him, right? You got to play zone, and you're gonna have to use a spot, which you're gonna leave a pocket somewhere in your zone. He gonna find it. He got pretty good receivers that's gonna find, and then that's gonna really open up for Mark Andrews if you want to play like that.
yeah. I was gonna say like
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to play zone against the Ravens because you play zone like Zay and Andrews and likely gonna kill you. I mean, zone is great to keep an eye on the quarterback, but I mean, I would not want Zay just I mean getting open in like in certain zones and in certain parts of the field because he's gonna be open. And then once he
And
get the
you don't
ball,
want to play man.
and once he get the ball in his hands, and he open, bro. That's just dangerous. I'm just saying. So
But then you don't want to play man because if you turn your back to Lamar, he gonna go for a buck on you, easy.
Yeah, but you can still spy him when you play man. Though I mean, like you play like a man, like a man spy, or like a man coverage and a spy. The only issue with playing a spy though is you got to have someone with enough speed that can spy him. Though that's the other issue. Like the Texans, they weren't. I don't think they spied him on the first couple drives. And then they just started blitzing in the second quarter. They started getting to Lamar when they started blitzing. Um, and then the second half, I mean, like the Ravens just ran the ball, and the Texans couldn't stop it. Like that's pretty much all the Ravens were doing, was just running it, and they couldn't stop it. So
I mean, I hope the Chiefs got an answer for it.
I mean, the Chiefs' run defense looked a little leaky last week, man. I mean, they was letting
That's
James
what I'm
Cook
saying. That's
just
what I'm saying.
Them boys gonna be in trouble. That's what I'm saying. They gonna be in trouble.
because I mean, what
Listen, if
like the
they let
Bills ran for
Justice
like
Hill and Gus
180 or something
Edwards,
last week,
yeah, something like that, a good little chunk on them. It was crazy.
but
I don't know, man. Them boys.
I mean, the Chiefs got their work cut out. The only good thing about the Chiefs is like Spags is their DC, so Spags comes up with some good defensive, game plans. I'll give them that. And I mean, like he makes a lot of adjustments at the half, so that's just something that you got to keep an eye on. So, I mean, but I'm, like if I'm the Chiefs, I'm just trying to keep it close to the end. Like, and I mean, if Patrick Mahomes get the ball on the last possession and he could kind of drive down the field to win the game. Like, if you're a Chiefs fan, that's kind of what you got to hope for. Um, you just keep it close and then get it into Mahomes' hands in the fourth quarter and see if he can make some magic happen. I just don't see it though. Like I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure it's going to be like like a 3-point game going to the fourth. Like I see the Ravens up by like 10 going into the fourth. I mean something like that, maybe like 7 to 10 points. So
Yeah, they put up 182.
and I mean that's with James Cook and Josh Allen running the ball, and Lamar is a run. He's also like a quarterback that can run, but he's his dynamic of running is different than Josh Allen. I
Ty
mean Josh
Johnson
Allen
put
gonna run
Ty
you over.
Johnson too. Ty Johnson was in that mix too. He had 40 of those. James Cook had 61. Josh Allen had 72. You let Josh Allen put up 72, man. I don't
Yeah,
know, dog. Lamar might go crazy.
yeah, but I mean
That's
like
what I
Lamar is a different
said,
kind of
bro. He
runner
gonna
though.
go dumb.
Like his running style is different though. Like he's more elusive and he's his top end speed is I think he's faster than Josh Allen. I mean, Josh
That's
Allen
what
gonna
I'm
run you over.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
So I mean,
And
like
you
good
let him
luck
go for
stopping.
70. You let him go for 70.
So I mean, yeah, I mean
Imagine what you do against Lamar. I know you're gonna try to change your game plan because it's a different quarterback, different threat. You know what I'm saying? Different abilities. But I don't know, man. This is gonna be a tough task. It's gonna be a tall glass of water, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean,
The
and then
Chiefs,
it's not even just that though. We're talking about Lamar, but you're not even talking about how Lamar affects the Ravens' run game. Like it makes it easier for the running backs to get more yards because I mean, like like the threat of him running. So
yeah, that RPO crazy.
yeah,
You
I
gonna
mean,
you gonna catch a lot of flat-footed linebackers, man. When the running backs hitting the second level, they're gonna get beat. That's just how it happens sometimes.
yeah, it's gonna be tough for them boys. So
Mobile quarterbacks are lethal to all linebackers, man. Because if you ain't playing it just right and you make one mistake, it could be especially with Lamar. It could be to the crib.
I mean, he could definitely do that on passing plays or running plays. So
Right. A, a double threat of it going to the crib. And then you got somebody like Zay Flowers. You got OBJ if he can somehow get open in the scramble drill, you could get hit for 50. You know what I mean? But I mean, Pat got the same type of situation, but you got his receivers over there with butter and oil on their hands. So I don't.
I mean, all they say about the Chiefs is like we all talk about how they wide receivers drop the ball, but last week they was catching it though. So
Yeah, they've been pretty good through the off season, not dropping the ball. I don't even think MVS got a drop, right? I don't think he got a drop in the playoffs.
no, I don't.
Something I seen.
He might have had one in the wild card round, maybe, but that's about it though. But it was, I mean, that game was super cold. So, but Yeah, I don't, man. Like I just don't know. Like I mean, it's kind of what everybody says about Mahomes. Like, I mean, you're gonna give them a chance because they got Mahomes. Like, I think it doesn't matter what the game is. Like, they'll always have a chance. Um, I
Yeah.
just, I mean, like they're gonna need the performances that they got last week from the defense and from their wide receivers. I mean, Pacheco is the one guy that I'm not worried about. Like Pacheco gonna give you his like 110% no matter what the game situation is. Like he gonna try to ball out regardless. I mean, that's just his mentality. Like his mentality for this game is perfect going against the Ravens. Um, and him and Rasheed Rice, I don't really worry about. Like I think they'll be fine. Kelsey too, but the guys like MVS and the other guys are kind of the guys that you kind of got to worry about and just hopefully they do their job if you're a Chiefs fan.
I what don't they got a lot of injuries on the Chiefs side of the ball this week?
Joe Tooney, starting guard, he's out. I think they got some injuries on defense. I think they had a linebacker and a safety that went out last week. I haven't heard like they weren't marked as out yet, so they might still have a chance to play. So I'm not sure exactly who those names are, but they definitely had some injuries last week. But the only guy that's definitely
I
out is
see,
like Joe
I
Tooney and
see
Scott Moore.
yeah, I see Scott Moore out, Derek Nandy, D tackle, Kadarius Tony, Willie Gay, Mike Edwards. Questionable.
Yeah, I mean Mike Edwards is the safety, and I think Gay is the linebacker. But I mean, but also looking at that Chiefs game, like they're gonna need Chris Jones to have a big game. Like they're gonna need him to I mean like pressure Lamar and I mean just ball out pretty much.
What's your status on your players? Kicker, I see you
Shit,
got
everybody healthy.
what about Delshawn Phillips? It look like they say he doubtful.
I don't know. I mean, he ain't nothing but a role player for real. Nothing against him though,
Okay.
but I mean,
It look
hey,
like everybody else on the list look like they
yeah,
playing though.
hell yeah.
So
My
was your
bad. I'm trying to cook. I'm trying to
this
cook up. I'm trying to cook this basketball college ticket up real quick, man. Let me go ahead and put this in because that shit going down. The odds going down as I'm talking.
yeah, I was gonna ask is your corner that didn't play last week, is he supposed to play this week? I just do not remember his name.
They say he's supposed to. So hey, we'll just see for real, for real.
Who Rock Yan Sin or something like that? That's his name.
Nah, it's Marlon.
Oh,
Marlon
Marlon.
Humphreys.
Let me
Yeah, I mean
see.
Marlon's questionable, so he
Yeah,
might play.
question.
Yeah, Marlon questionable and Rock Yassin is questionable too.
Yeah,
So yeah, 'cause I'm looking at the injury report right now. Yeah, Sky Moore and Nandy are out.
yes, they on IR. That's over with.
Yeah,
You won't see them no more this season.
and I mean Tooney. Well, I think Sky Moore has got the return tag, so I don't know if he can return if they make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, they're saying his estimated return date is February 11, which is that sounds like that's right around I think that's the Super Bowl. I think. Um,
Oh, okay.
and it's like you said, like they got
Yeah, I see it.
Edwards,
Yeah.
Gay, and Tony that are questionable. I mean, Kadarius Tony. I don't. I mean, he not a big piece. So I mean, if I was a Chiefs fan, I wouldn't really worry if Tony could play or not.
Even with Scott Moore out, you don't think so?
I mean, Scott Moore ain't really been good all season, so I don't even think. I mean, Scott Moore not being there is not that big of a deal. Um, yeah, them the 49ers ain't got no one on their injury report.
They looking
I mean,
clean.
yeah, it's clean except some like uh Lyle Davis. I don't even know who that is. He a D tackle, and then Burks is a line.
Oren Burks.
Yeah, I don't even know who Oren Burks is. He's probably like a special team linebacker or something. But I mean, like the Lions got some injuries. I actually forgot that they have Jonah Jackson. He's out. He's the starting guard. He out.
Yeah, but
Khalil,
they've been playing without him all season, though, from what I heard. Right?
oh really? Because I thought
He
he was a
he been
starting
in and
guard.
out he been in and out the lineup all season, from what I heard.
Oh, okay. And then
And they
Khalil Raymond is out too. He's one of their wide receivers. I mean, he does get some PT. So I ain't gonna say it's a big loss, but it's a. I mean, it's a loss nonetheless.
yeah. Yeah, from what I heard, he been out a few games this season. This ain't his first big game he been out this season.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought he got hurt in the game last week because I know they center got hurt, but then he came back in the game.
Yeah, he was out of the Ravens game, they said. So something else. They said he was out a few games. I got to look at their schedule probably to see which games they was talking about.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like when you're going up against that 49ers front, like, and you need all your guys. So
But they got this. I guess their back was pretty good from what they said.
I mean, the Lions got the best line in the league. I assume that they backups are pretty good. Um, but I mean, saying all that, like they got to perform like the best line in the league. I mean, come on Sunday night. So yeah, I don't. I mean, like their backup tight end right is out, but that's why they signed Zach Ertz. So that kind of it just depends how quickly Zach Ertz can I mean learn the offense and stuff like that. So
I mean, what depends on what they're using for too. They might just set something up for him personally.
I mean, if I'm them, I mean, you know, like, if I'm Ben Johnson, like I use Zach Ertz in the red zone more than anything. Like I don't know what his stamina is like because he hasn't played all season. So you kind of got to wonder what his football shape looking like.
Yeah, when the last time he played a game?
I think the last time he played a game was last year. I don't think he played at all this year. I don't think. Man, I could check it, but I don't really remember him playing.
Boy, numbers going up. Boy, I got hella people
But
want
yeah,
to do this shit, but
he got 27 for 187. But that boy ain't played in a long time.
Oh no, actually he did play this year.
Yeah, he ain't played in a
I
long
mean,
time.
yeah, I mean his last game was October 22nd. It says.
Yeah, he had four targets, 3 receptions, 19 yards.
Yeah, that's when he was playing for Arizona. Oh yeah, that's what happened. He was playing for Arizona. He got hurt, and then he asked for his release, and then they gave him his release.
But he supposed to have been signed months ago. He just been sitting around chilling, I guess.
I mean, I thought he was going to sign with y'all. That's what I thought,
I did
but
too.
that should never materialize.
He waited to the week before the Super Bowl, like, hey man, you know what? Let me get on one team, see if I can get a win, and then I got a free ride to the chip.
Yeah, like when the news dropped, like I was in the space and they said, I'm like, yo, that's kind of janky, man. Like you waited till the week before championship weekend you know.
Well, they reached out to him though, so maybe he didn't have offers like we thought he did.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I know Brock Wright, their backup tight end, is you know they put him on IR, so he done for the season. So they had to open in that tight end, and I think the way that the Lions run their offense, like they run their offense with a lot of tight ends, like they, you know, I mean they use a lot of 12 and 13 personnel.
Hey, you see
So
what Noel said, J. He said they center has 2 sprained knees, a sprained ankle. We need to take advantage of him for real, for real.
I mean, he had that last week, and he went right back into the game, and he blocked on that 4th and goal where they scored a touchdown. That touchdown ended up being the difference in the game. So the dude is a tough guy.
He
So yeah,
banged
I
up
mean,
though. He going
yeah, he
through it.
banged up, but he's one of the better centers in the league. So I'm pretty sure if he's
True.
got sprains, he's gonna take that. He's gonna take a pillow. He's gonna, you know, like or a shot or whatever.
Yeah, he get a
He
little
was
shot in the ankle, shot in the knee. He'll run
shot
it.
in the knee or something. Yeah,
He get a
something
second
like
one at
that.
halftime and finish the game. If they close, he'll get a second one. If not, he'll be
Now I
sitting
don't
in the
think you
fourth
get a
quarter
second shot.
anyway.
Now I don't think you get a second shot though. Like I think you only get one per game or something like that.
Or you can get a pill. Then you can get a painkiller.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think like the lines. I didn't take over unders in any of these games, but to be honest, the only game I can see really going over is the 49ers game. I think over is 51 and a half.
Yeah, it's
Um,
51.5.
because I think the Baltimore game, I think it's raining in Baltimore right now. I don't know if it's supposed to be
It's
raining for the game.
44.5. I don't know if you think that's going over, but
Yeah, I mean, with the weather in Baltimore, I'm not 100% sure I want to bet the over the under. So,
it's
well,
still feeling warm out there, kicker.
I don't know. I ain't been outside yet. Hey, I don't know. Man, like this, I don't know. Like it's clear for real for now.
Still got a day though. Weather changed so fast, man. You never know. It's gonna be a good game though. I'm ready to see these games, man.
yeah, my only issue with championship weekend, man, it didn't mean that football's almost over, man. I mean, like you
Yeah,
wait all year for football and it go by so fast, man. That's just the kind of bad thing about like the season only being like 18 weeks.
Is there any other spring leagues coming out this year? I don't really watch it much.
Uh, yeah, I think the USFL and what the USFL and what's that other league?
X
Um,
is it XFL? No.
yeah, I mean XFL.
Yeah,
Like
the Rock. The Rock.
yeah. I mean they merged those leagues together, so it's just gonna be one off season league.
Oh, okay.
So
Might be interesting.
yeah, I mean I checked out the XFL last year. Like I actually liked the XFL last year. Like I liked some of the rules that they had. USFL, I didn't watch a lot of that, so I watched a couple games here and there. Like I wasn't like locked in like I was to the XFL. So, but I mean, it should be interesting though.
I think it's gonna be a lot more probably a lot more competitive now that they got the two leagues combined. You know what I mean? You get more talent in one pool instead of splitting it up. So the teams might be better. I might watch a little bit of it this time, man. Because I mean,
And
we
then I think
complain about
also,
no football. Might as well watch something.
yeah, and then I think the thing like in the XFL, like they had a couple players that actually got tryouts for like teams in the NFL. I think a couple guys made a couple rosters. So I mean, like the talent is
I
out
mean,
there. Like
PJ Walker did he come from the XFL?
yeah. I mean, he came from like the first iteration of the XFL. Um,
Okay.
so I mean, but I mean, like this past year, like I mean, there were a couple players that got tryouts, a couple players that made practice squads. So it just, I mean, the talent is out there. It's just like they gotta kind of treat it like baseball, where you have like I don't want to call it like a minor league system, but like a system where guys that don't get playing time and like in like the major league that they want to continue to play, continue to develop. Like you need leagues like this.
That's what The
So
Rock was originally trying to do. I remember him saying he reached out to the NFL to try to merge, as a like a little brother league.
yeah, I mean, because like the dudes that be on the practice squad or the dudes that just be barely off these rosters, there's no way for them to get better.
Yeah,
Um,
they just doing the same routine week in week out. No
yeah, so I mean, if you're
competition.
not playing on the field, you're not going to develop. But I mean, like at least in this new league, they get a chance to play when it's I mean, when the NFL season is not going on. So like the teams are already scouting for free agents and like draft picks. So I mean, like they can also scout these guys every week when they play. And you never know what you can get. I mean, like you might be able to get a good little running back out this league, or a linebacker, or a corner, or a wide receiver, or like a offensive lineman. Who knows? So
But the NFL like to protect its property, so that's the only reason they probably wouldn't be into it. They don't want to send them out there to the spring league, and they go out there and tear their ACL. Now I gotta be responsible for their contract.
yeah, but like a lot of the players that play in like the XFL and the USFL, they weren't even in the league. They didn't have any
No, I'm
affiliation.
talking about the guys you talking about on the practice squad. You telling them like some of them are drafted. They not just just out there. They drafted. They got a small amount of money they making just to be on the practice squad. They don't want to. Some of them don't want to risk their NFL chances by going out there. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, so those guys, I ain't really got no issue with it. Like, so, like, if you're on the practice squad and you don't want to play in that league, then that's cool. But there's a bunch of guys that's just barely off. Like there's a bunch of guys that make it to like camps and like the camps in the summertime, and they be like the first one cut off these teams. So
Yeah,
I
you
think
can go
like
out there
these
and show
leagues
your
give them
talent.
opportunities. So
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, the guys that's kind of getting passed around. Year in year out. You're on a different practice squad every year. You're on a different team every year. You probably can get out there and show your talent, and maybe somebody like what they really see, because you really don't get to see a lot in camp, man. You don't really get to see everything. You get to see a little bit, but it ain't full force. It ain't 100% speed. It ain't all out. It's kind of like we got to protect the guys that's making millions of dollars, so you can get out here and do your thing, but we need you to keep it idle down, keep it level. You know what I mean?
well, yeah, I mean, and that's just a tough thing because like what like an active roster NFL is 53. And then I think you can have up to 12 players on your practice squad. I think it's like 10 to 12 players, something
Yeah,
like that. So I mean,
I
like
think
in
it's
all,
10.
I was 10. So like, yeah, so like in all, you have about 60 something players on your that's officially on your team. And so like there's just a lot of other guys that are fringe players that I mean, if they don't
But
stay,
don't you go into camp with 90?
yeah, yeah, I mean you start your camp with 90 and then you whittle it down to 53. So it's like I mean, so I mean each team got about what 40, like 35, 40 guys that I mean that
Not making the
camp
roster.
Yeah, they're not making the roster, and they just like some of them will make the practice squad or someone else's practice squad, but you got a lot of guys that's just out there that can't that aren't going to play, and so you got this other league where these guys aren't necessarily signed to NFL teams, but they want to play, so you give them that chance to develop their skills.
How you feel about the new rules with the cut in 1 day situation? You think you think it should be the old school way where they was cutting, kind of in segments, or do you like the new rule where it's kind of like a 1 day thing?
I mean, I don't mind. Like, I'm not a coach in NFL, so I don't really mind like the 1 day cut. The like you only cut all your players on that 1 day. I mean, because in the past it's just like like they had more preseason games, so they had four preseason games, so they would make these gradual cuts. I mean, if I was a coach, I prefer the gradual cuts personally, but since I'm just a viewer of the game, I mean, it doesn't bother me.
It bothers me a little bit because it's gonna be that one guy that you paying attention to in camp. You might have been watching. He didn't get an opportunity, to really show up. And he possibly, if there was the gradual cuts, he would have got that extra 15 snaps. He gonna get cut. He gonna end up on another team, possibly ball out. I think it's just like I think with the gradual cuts, you was able to cut guys that you knew weren't performing at all, and you could see the other guys. But now you got 90 guys going all the way to the last day of cut. It's hard to evaluate when you really looking at the situation.
I mean, that's true in a sense, but like the cut date is just the deadline for you to cut players. So if you wanted to, you could cut players earlier than the final cut date if you wanted to. So I
Yeah,
mean, like,
but I see. I was just watching how we did it last year. My team personally, we didn't really cut many people. Like we cut like maybe like three during the preseason gaming time, and then we cut like the first day after the preseason. I think we cut like a couple people. We did gradually cut through that week, but then on cut day we cut like 20 people. It's like a big cut. I mean, so it's like, and some of those players I don't really know. I haven't followed some of them. I followed some of them. Some of them got some PT at places. Some of them didn't, but it was like a 20-man cut. It just seemed like so many players. And I seen like the whole league as I was paying attention. They was cutting a lot of players. The UDFA slash cut pool ended up being a lot of players at one time. It's just hard to pick through a great pile of players like that. In my eyes.
it's definitely a valid point. Because I mean, being old enough, I mean, like we done been through both, like both styles where they, where they make cuts though gradually. I mean, you take 90 down to what was it, 90 down to like 78, down to 60 something, and down to the 53. So
Yeah, and then you had an opportunity if you got cut off. Like say for instance, I got cut from the Patriots. I had an opportunity to jump in at another camp before they cut. Maybe get an opportunity to run it back and see if I can get on this team. But now you don't even get that opportunity.
well, yeah, I mean, you don't get the opportunity to be in the camp, but like, like the good thing is like you're in, I mean, you're in that one team's camp for the whole camp. So there's tape, like you got the preseason games and all that. So I mean, you got tape out there, I mean, so if they choose to cut you and not sign you to the practice squad, that like this tape out there that another team might be like, oh, I want to sign this guy to my practice squad, or I want to sign this guy to my active roster because I think he can make a difference. So, but I
It's
mean,
it's advantages and disadvantages to everything when you change. You know what I mean?
yeah. So
So what's your? I mean, I know you at the number two. I mean, obviously you already told me quarterback. Well, what you doing in the second round, man? What's your moves in the second round type deal?
well, yeah. So we got the third pick. So honestly, like I'm leaning towards quarterback. I mean, it's funny because I was in the Patriot space last night where I mean, we were chopping up talking about all these different possibilities. So if we was to go quarterback, like if we was to get one of the three guys, Caleb, Drake May, or Jaden Daniels, if we get one of them three, what I'm looking at in the second round, like we need tackle help and we need wide receiver help. And so one of our free agents is probably like I think he's the top left tackle on the market, Trent Brown. And so like a lot of people are looking at him to sign him. And we're not sure. Like the best case scenario is if we could sign him back for a couple years couple years, maybe like a 3-year deal. So like we wouldn't necessarily need a tackle at that point. And so I would definitely, I'm probably going wide receiver anyways. I'm not gonna go tackle second round. Um, like I've been saying across multiple platforms, like the three wide receivers I'm looking at at that 34th pick, is Troy Franklin, uh, Xavier Leggett, or Tez Walker. Those are the three. Those are kind of where I'm kind of those are the three guys I'm looking at. And if we was to draft Drake May, I would prefer just to draft Tez because I mean they both played together. I mean Tez only played 6 games with a North Carolina, and he had 1,000 yards in 6 games, which is pretty good. I mean, and so I mean he's got good chemistry with Drake May. So if we was to take Drake May, I would lean more towards Tez Walker. But if we didn't, like, say we drafted Jaden Daniels, then I might lean more to Troy Franklin or Xavier Leggett. That's probably what I would do.
You know, like what's his name, Brian Thomas Jr. If you had got Jaden Daniels,
Brian Thomas ain't gonna be there in the second round, man. Like, I mean, I think he's gonna be the fourth wide receiver taken off the board. I think he's gonna be taken in the mid first round. Um, I'm 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 not saying that this is like a Chase and Jetta situation because obviously those two dudes play for LSU too. So I'm not saying that Neighbors is going to be like Chase and Brian Thomas is going to be like Jettas. Like that's just too crazy to say because the kind of player that Jettas is now. But I mean, Jettas wasn't taken in the top 10. You know, like when he went out in the draft, he was drafted in the 20s. Um, so, but I mean, I think Brian Thomas can be really successful in the NFL. I think Neighbors would be better than him, but I mean, I don't think it's that far off. But like, starting off when I started looking at these prospects, he was like an early second round pick. But I mean, as the weeks have gone on, like his draft stock has moved up, and like there's some mocks where he goes between 15 and 20. So,
is there anybody on your team you think they might trade that you might think you want to keep?
I mean, we got a lot of free agents. I mean, we also got a lot of cap room, like money to spend. I think we got like 70 million in cap room. Um, Only player I could see we traded maybe Judon, maybe because Judon got a year left. If Judon want to play for a contender, because I mean, essentially the Patriots are in a rebuild. So I could see if Judon says, you know, I don't really want to be here for a rebuild. Like, you know, like I prefer to go to a contender. I could see us maybe trading Judon somewhere. Trying to think who else we could trade. I mean, I would love to trade Juju back to the Chiefs, man. I really don't want to do it on my team. So I mean, we could trade Juju to somebody. I'd be ecstatic about that. Um, I don't think there's anybody else. Like offensively, like we lack a lot of talent, so we have no one to trade offensively. I mean, defensively, we have pieces we could trade. Like we have Barmore, who we drafted 3 years ago. But I don't want to trade Barmore. I want to resign him. And then we got Christian Gonzalez, who's going to be our CB1. We're obviously not trading him. And then we have Duggar as a free agent, who I'm hoping that we resign because we need to. Some of our free agents, like we got the money to pay him, so you might as well pay some of them. But yeah, like trades, I don't see many players that we could possibly trade.
I thought Judon too, man. I mean, he got pretty good trade value also, so you probably can get I ain't gonna say a haul, but you probably can get a couple draft picks out of Judon. Maybe even a draft pick and a young player that's not developed. You know what I'm saying, with a nice draft pick. I think.
I mean, for me, like if I was the GM and I would just go to Judon and just kind of like because he's been real good for us since we signed him. So I'd just be upfront with him. I'd be like, do you want to stay here or do you want to play for a contender? I would let him make up his mind and his decision. Like, like if he wants to stay in New England, then I ain't got no issue keeping him. I mean, but if he wants to move on and play for a contender, then I would just, I mean, it's kind of like what I said. Like when we signed him, I mean, he didn't take the most amount of money, so I mean, like we appreciate that. So I mean, if he's willing, if he want to go to a contender, you kind of got to do him that favor. I mean,
I think he going, but I think he going. I just think personally, I just don't know where he would go.
I mean,
His just the gravity of how he played. He like the guy, man. You got to take him somewhere where he kind of gonna be on top. You know what I mean? I don't know too many teams that's really gonna pay, and he gonna want to get paid next year. He's not going somewhere for a 1 year deal. He probably gonna want to go and pretty much probably finish it out.
I mean, you got to look at it like not this past season, but the season before. Like he had about 14, 15 sacks.
He went crazy.
Yeah, so you got to figure like he can give you a double-digit sack season, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of teams that would take that. So, and
Oh,
I'm
it
not
is
saying,
definitely.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that, I mean, like we taking a second or third rounder for him or whatever because he only got 1 year left. Like you might only get like a fourth or a fifth. I mean, but to me, it's not even about
I
what
think
you
you can get a
get back.
third though.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a needy team that really need a pass rusher, then that's possible. I don't see why not. I mean, but for me, it's more of doing him a solid because, like I said, when we signed him, he didn't, I mean, he didn't get the full bag. He didn't require the full bag. So, I mean, like, and we read, I mean, I think last year before the season, we converted his salary into like a bonus so that he get all his money up front. So you kind of got to do him a solid at this point because, like I said, the Patriots are pretty much in a rebuild. So
Maybe he want to stay play for Judon though. You never know.
he might.
Watch it play out. You never know.
I mean, he might like Gerard Mayo. I mean, like Gerard Mayo was the linebackers coach. Technically Judon is a linebacker, so he was coaching him. So he might want to just stay. He might want to stay under Mayo. I mean, like Mayo being the head coach or whatever. So
has Mayo been filling up his staff at any capacity, or you still
he's
waiting?
trying to. I mean, word around the street is the DC probably going to be the D line coach, who was the D line coach last year was Covington, and I mean he kind of deserved that. Like he's one of our better defensive coaches, so I could see him being the DC. The OC, they're looking outside the building. I mean, they've been interviewing a bunch of people. I think they're interviewing the 49ers tight end coach today. I think they interviewed the Lions pass game coordinator yesterday. They interviewed Gerard Johnson, the quarterback coach out of Houston. They also interviewed um Zach Robinson, the I think he was the
Quarterback
quarterback.
coach from the Rams.
But yes, so I mean, like they've been
Yeah,
interviewing a lot of the same people that like the most teams have. So I mean, I would expect an OC hire to be coming down the line pretty soon. I mean, hopefully next week, so I can kind of understand the kind of OC and like the play call that we're gonna have, so I can kind of make a decision on who we might draft. So
I really want Cliff Kingsbury, but they're saying it's like looking like he about to sign with the Raiders though.
I thought he already signed. I thought he agreed to the job yesterday.
I thought it said expected. I'm not sure. Let me check.
Uh,
Double check. I thought it was,
yeah,
they said yesterday like it was expected that he was going to sign with them today, pretty much, but we
yeah,
still
because
haven't heard no news.
I was in Gridiron Bullies talking to Brink, and the way Brink made it sound like it was a done deal. So, and I mean, he's a Raiders fan, so I mean, it might be a done deal already. But I mean, the good thing is that there's a lot of OCs out there that you could hire. It just depends on the kind of scheme that you're trying to run. So, I mean, he's still out there. Zach Robinson out there. I mean, Gerard Johnson, the quarterback coach out of Texas, he's out there. Like the Lions guy, he's out there. I mean, like, there's a lot of talented OC, candidates that's out there. So I really wouldn't stress over it right now because I mean, they're still out there at this point. So, but I was gonna
It
ask
don't look
you.
like it's official.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you got to wait for them to actually sign the contract or whatever. So, I mean, but I'd ask you. So, I mean, on the Eagles, I mean, are there any players that I mean, like, and you would want to trade?
Avonte Maddox, Bradbury, um, that's about it. I mean, Quez Watkins a free agent. I don't think we're gonna sign him back. Uh, Nicholas Morrow free agent. I don't think we're gonna sign him back. I think we're gonna bring back Zach Cunningham for depth at the linebacker position. We got Sua Opeta. We gonna sign back. I think we're gonna let Jack Driscoll leave. I'm hoping we sign Swift back. It's possible we sign Boston Scott back. Um, I would want to get off of Kenny Gainwell.
Oh, really?
Um,
And I think, and I thought he was pretty good for y'all though.
um, I think what he does for us, you could get out of another running back, and he could do both jobs where you don't have to take the other running back off the field as much to get Kenny Gainwell pass protection snaps. I
Okay.
mean, the reason he's on the team is like out of the people in our running back room, he is the best pass pro. But he also not big either. You know what I'm saying? So he's not really a great pass pro, but he's the best one at picking it up. Um, let's see. I think that's all I would get rid of right now. I really want to bring in. I'm really stuck right now, Mick, because I don't know if I want to go draft a corner in the first round or I want to go in the free agency pool or the trade market and trade for a cornerback. Because I know it's a few cornerbacks out there that's kind of on the trade block. I know we have the trade capital, the draft capital slash trade compensation, uh, to get whatever we want, and we're gonna restructure. I just heard today that Devontae Smith is guaranteed to have a contract before mid season next year. We for sure gonna sign him. It's gonna be an in season signing. It's not gonna be during the off season. So
I mean, so is he
uh
going into his what, his fourth year this year, or is this his fifth year?
this is his fourth. This will be his fourth season. The year coming.
Well, yeah, so that makes sense. So I mean, like y'all would probably pick him up on the fifth year option, and then you'd extend him before that fifth year even starts, so he could still play another fifth year.
Yeah, that's what they're probably gonna do. Pretty much. So once we sign him, restructure. We just restructure Jason Kelsey. So that's kind of a positive sign for me. That make it
Oh,
seem like he's coming back. So
and I thought he was going to retire though.
he said it in the heat of the moment. It was a
Oh,
moment situation. He said he's gonna take his time. He want to vacation and spend some time with his family and his kids and kind of sit down with his family and stuff and go over the possibilities of if he should retire now or come back and run it back. Brandon Graham already came out and said he wanted to come back to the Eagles running back. He'll come back on a vet minimum. Fletcher Cox, I think he gonna also want to run it back, probably a little bit higher than the vet minimum. Um, I think he'll come back probably on a five. Probably we probably end up playing him somewhere around 5 million for a 1 year victory lap. Um,
yeah, I was gonna say like, so like you're not concerned about how, I mean, I get that y'all got a good amount of young players, but like sometimes signing these older vets does kind of concern me a little bit though at times, because you wonder if they're gonna get hurt during the season because they're aging.
uh, I've been kind of wanting to let go of both of them for the last 2 years, but I mean, if you coming back for a victory lap, Brandon Graham, he's more of a. I think he's gonna end up being here long term, J Mick. And I'm not saying as a player, but I think he's gonna end up in the coaching staff somewhere like that.
Because
So
I
I
was gonna,
mean,
cause I was gonna say he kind of old, ain't he?
well, I think he's gonna be 34 this year, 35. He up there. It's kind of over with.
And I was gonna say, because if you look at because I just googled the free agent defensive line, they got a lot of solid names. They got like Chris Jones, Christian Wilkins, Justin Matabuke, Leonard Williams, DJ Reader, your guy Fletcher Cox, Grover Stewart, Danico Autry, Sheldon Rankins, and Javon Kinlaw. I mean, that's a lot of, and that's obviously the top 10 free agents on like the D line. That's a lot of. I mean, some of those guys might get franchised, maybe one or two, but there's a lot of quality out there.
Well,
So,
after we do our movement, we can end up going in the free agency with like 60 million, Mick. So we can make some
yeah.
moves.
And then I mean, cornerback wise, I mean, you're saying you need cornerbacks. I looked that up too. So, cornerback, the top 10 is pretty much Jalen Johnson. Like, he's the 24-year-old corner out of Chicago who
Yeah, I
I mean,
remember him.
yeah, who wants a bag. And you got Snead out of KC. Then you got Kendall Fuller, uh, Chidobe Owazie. You got him. Stephon Gilmore is kind of, he's kind of on his last leg, so he don't got that much more time left. Kenny Moore, uh, Taveri Thomas, Christian Fulton, who's out of the Titans, Jeff Okuda, who I would want nothing to do with, and Steve.
Nothing to do with 10
Nah,
foot pole. I would not touch it. But I ain't gonna lie to you. The top two cornerbacks, you could be prepared for the Eagles to throw a bag.
I mean, Snead, you definitely have to throw a bag. Well, Jalen, you're gonna have to throw a bag at, because I think midseason he told the Bears he wanted like 20 million, but a year, but I think he told him that because he just don't want to play there. And I think he want
Yeah,
to play for
I
a team
think
that's a contender. So,
look, Bradbury out, Avonte Maddox out. We bringing in, we got Isaiah Rogers.
but I mean,
He'll be.
Bradbury's on a contract, ain't he?
Oh, it's a out June 1st. We'll end up
Oh,
getting hit for $4 million.
I mean, 4 million ain't shit. So,
Nah, $4 million for your trash. Yeah, you out of here. You horrible. We out. We off you. So I can see us throwing the bag at a Jalen Johnson or Sneed, man. I ain't gonna even lie to you. That's how we wait though. He not really like into drafting corners. He like to
yeah,
draft linemen, linebackers, receivers, maybe, but he really into like the trenches.
yeah. I mean, I would definitely, if you need a corner, I would definitely sign a corner off the free agents market, but I'd also still draft one though.
I could
I mean,
see us trading for Jair too, bro.
the way Jair making it sound like he's definitely not going to be there.
He
I mean,
said,
I
didn't he
seen his
say
post
like
during
thank
the week.
you or goodbye or something?
Yeah, he said it was some. But the thing is, everybody want him. That's the thing. So, and the Packers ain't just going to cut him. They're going to trade him like they did Rasul Douglas. But I don't know. Like sometimes I be feeling like Green Bay don't be getting the full value they can for their players because they traded Rasul Douglas to the Bills for a fourth round pick, and I mean that dude when he got to the Bills, I mean he balled out. And so I'm thinking like he was definitely more valuable than just a fourth round pick, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Um, but yeah, cornerback, like something I learned under Bill Belichick, man, him being here so long, like we used to draft corners every year. And it's just a good practice to have, just to always have corners, depth at that position because corners get hurt. And it's just, it is what it is. So
And we totally opposite. We got trench help and no corner help. Our corner's young. I mean, I ain't gonna say we got no corner help. I mean, we got Keely Ringo, Eli Ricks, uh,
yeah, I mean,
Josh
Ring,
Joby. I mean,
Ringo gonna be a safety though, man. I
I,
mean,
I
that's
mean,
just
hopefully whoever comes in, that's our cornerback slash DB coach, sees what everybody else sees, and they actually transfer him to a safety because we didn't put him at any safety snaps at all.
yeah.
And
I mean,
everybody in the world knows he's supposed to be a safety, man.
he played for my school, man. Like his movements on the field are just not fluid enough to be a corner. I always knew that. Um, and I honestly think when he had the chance to leave, when he was predicted to be a first round pick, he should have left the year before he left, and he didn't. And he suffered the consequences for that going later in the draft. What did he go, fourth, fifth round, something like that? So,
Yeah, we got him in the fifth.
yeah, safety wise, though, I think he could be a good safety. But corner, yeah.
I mean,
I
he
just,
has some. I ain't gonna lie to you. He has some good cornerback snaps, but that's what safeties do. They have good cornerback snaps, but just not consistent cornerback snaps. Sometimes you can get down in the box and play a little cornerback if they keep it short and intermediate, and you can jump it. Cool. What happens when he hits you with the double move and he blow by you? And it ain't no safety help. It's just you and him. You don't flip your hips when he double move and you get killed.
but I'll give you a prime example. Like Devin McCourty, like when we drafted him out of Rutgers, he was a corner. His first year as corner, he had like 9 picks or something crazy like that. Um, yeah, but over time we realized that his next year at corner, he really didn't have a great year, and then we moved him to safety, and he had a great career at safety. So sometimes you draft players as corners, and like they might have had one good season, and then you just realize like he's not a corner, he's a safety, and you gotta make the switch.
Well, I want to transfer Reed Blankenship down to the linebacker.
Yeah,
I think he showed a lot more linebacker tendencies than safety tendencies to me. He make a lot of those blunders, you know what I mean, where like it's easy to just keep yourself over the top of the play and you won't get beat, but he like to play it like it's the run all the time and he get caught. Nah, dude, like 2-3 steps and then you ain't got enough speed to kind of catch up, which is, I think he should be a linebacker. And then I think that way Sidney Brown can, even though he just towards ACL, he can get more snaps next year next to whoever's in the safety room, which I'm pretty sure Kevin Byard will be here on the restructured contract. Um,
And I
people in
thought
my organization, huh?
and I thought he was a free agent after this year.
Mm-mm. He got another year on the contract,
Okay.
but the contract right now is at like 14. He's expected like 14, but I think we're gonna end up cutting down to like 9. We'll end up somehow paying him that 5 up front. It'll be like a 9 on the cap. So we'll do something like that. Um, it's a lot of movement we can make on this team, man. But how we just don't need to overthink it and do too much. Cause I got a weird feeling, J Mick, he gonna overcompensate at linebacker, and
Yeah.
he gonna get a bunch of no names, a bunch of cheap fix, and it ain't gonna work. I would rather for the linebacker position go in the draft if I have to.
Yeah, I mean the linebackers in the draft is this is just not the draft for it. So I mean, for if you're an Eagles fan, I mean, hopefully the Kobe Dean can be healthy next year and you get something out of him, and hopefully you get something in free agency. Because like I said, and then in the draft, it's just not.
It's two linebackers in the draft, man. I'm willing to put my money on, man. Edgin Cooper and Jeremiah Trotter. I put my bank on it. If it ain't one of them two, I don't want neither. I don't want no linebacker in the draft.
Yeah, just not a lot. Like, I mean, you might be able to find a dot. Like, there are times in some of these drafts where you could draft a linebacker in the fourth, fifth round, and like it's like that, like a piece of coal, and they turn into a diamond or something like that.
Yeah,
Because I mean, like the best example for that is the 49ers. Like, I mean, Fred Warner, he wasn't a high draft pick.
third round,
He was I think it was the third or
and
fourth round.
Greenlaw is a fifth round.
Yeah, so I mean, you can find linebackers. You just gotta kind of it's a little bit of skill, a little bit of luck. But the other thing about Fred Warner, I thought Fred Warner, I thought he played safety in college. So that's another thing. Like he was a safety and they made him a linebacker. So that's also something else you got to think about. So
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do to Reed Blankenship, bro. So bad. I think he'd turn out to be a great linebacker. 'Cause he got all the instincts. He react fast. You know what I mean? He can tackle. He's not scared to tackle. He great in the run. He can cover a little bit. He can cut. He can cover like tight ends and maybe even he could pick up on the slot. But I mean, I really would like to see him as a linebacker, bro.
yeah, and I mean, so the people that's listening, I want to be careful when I say linebacker. So there's a difference. There's a difference between an edge and a linebacker. Like that, there's good edges in this draft. Definitely good
Yeah,
edges.
yeah.
There's good edges, but linebackers like
We
it's
mean standing up off the ball behind the line.
yeah,
Yeah, those guys.
yeah.
It ain't
Those
too many
guys,
of those.
not too
Inside.
many of those.
I forgot. I
Yeah,
forgot. You gotta be
yeah,
specific now.
yeah.
Inside linebackers.
Yeah, but we talking about edge linebackers. There's gonna be plenty. I don't want to say plenty, but like there's a good amount of them guys. I mean, a good amount of them guys you get in the first, second round. So, but
I got see. That's what I hate about my team though. Like low down in my heart, I'm like, we're gonna end up with a lineman with our first pick. Like, it's just what we do.
I don't know because I've heard other Eagle fans talk about y'all
Hey,
might
yeah, I'll
take
be
a
back on. Y'all got a phone call.
All right, kid.
yeah. So I mean, I've heard other people talking about y'all might draft a wide receiver first round. Like
It sound good.
and I've heard like I mean, other Eagle fans say it just depends. It really, to me, where you picking that, it depends how the draft fall. Like, so I mean, if like if there's a guy on your board that you really like and he's not an offensive defensive lineman and you thought he wasn't going to be there and he's there, then you're probably going to take him. But it just, I mean,
What would really be crazy to me, no lie, is if like Troy fell to me at 22 and they picked
who?
Troy.
No, what I mean, Troy Franklin. I mean, Troy Franklin should be there in the 20s. I don't think he's getting picked any higher than that because I think
People
Brian,
making it seem like he going top 15. So I just been like,
he not
I'm
going
like,
before Brian Thomas.
for who?
Brian Thomas, the kid out of
But
LSU.
some people got Brian Thomas like top 12.
Nah, I don't think he's going top 12. I mean, because you think the three quarterbacks are going to go.
I got 4 in the top 10.
Yeah, yeah, well, so I'm saying to be conservative, you got three quarterbacks going top 10. You probably got the three wide receivers. You got Marvin, Rome, and Neighbors. They're gonna go top 10. So that's six players already. I think Bauer's gonna go top 10, so that's seven. And then you got the two tackles, all in Fashanu. They're going top 10, so that's nine. And then I think one of the edges are gonna go. Like I think it's gonna be like either Turner or Braswell. I think it's gonna be Turner. I think Turner could be a top 10 pick. So that's 10 guys right there. So, and I mean, there's like there's still other players you could draft, like other edges. Like Braswell's a good edge that you could draft. Um, and then I mean, like I don't think any corners going top 10 though. In
We
my
got Kool-Aid top 10.
see, I'm
Some
not
people
see,
do
I'm
that.
not high on Kool Aid
But
at
I don't
all.
have Kool-Aid top 10. I don't have him 10. I don't have him. Honest to God, truth, I wouldn't draft.
Kool Aid, I'm just not. I'm not high on Kool Aid like some people are. Like some people think he about to be this next shutdown corner. I don't know. I don't see it. I saw him play at Alabama. He was cool. Man, he's not gonna be a bad tight end or nothing. He's an all right tight end, but I don't know. Like maybe it's me, but I just don't see it. Like him being this shut down like corner or whatever. But yeah. uh,
Peyton Wilson. That's the linebacker, NC State.
yeah, that's the background of NC State. Um,
He
I
a
think
decent prospect, but which I don't think he first round material though.
I don't think he's going in the first round. I mean, he won what the Dick Buckus Award in 2023. Um, I don't see him going in the first though. Like I don't. I mean, he's a good prospect, like you said. I mean, he can move laterally really well, and I mean, like he can chase and pursuit really well. I mean,
But he's small.
he's small, but he's got the speed though. That's the thing.
What is
Um,
his efficiency in the run though?
I mean, I think that's where he might have issues though, because he's more of a coverage linebacker than a run stopping linebacker. Um, so yeah, I just don't think like he's gonna be able to stop the run. Like I think he's more effective rushing. Like if he's gonna be rushing the passer, I think he's more effective rushing the passer than he would be stopping the run. Um,
What is he? What is he? Do you know his measurements?
let me see.
I think he like 6'3", 6'4",
He's
but I think he only
six.
like 220.
Yeah, he's 6'4", 238 actually. His 40 time is
Not too small then. You can put some weight on him then.
yeah, his 40 time is 4.5.
Yeah, a
Um,
little slow, a little slow.
I mean for a linebacker, I mean that ain't terrible. I mean
That ain't
that's not,
terrible, but with the way the league going,
yeah.
it's
I
so many.
mean
It's not even abnormal now to see running backs. I mean linebackers running 4.4s. You know what I mean? It used to be like, whoa, he ran a 4.4, but like now 4.5, 4.6, you kind of on the.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
maybe you could put some weight on him. 4.5, turn him in. You could turn him into something.
by the time the season starts, he's going to be 24. Um, and they're saying some of his comps like this is not a complete comp, but they're saying on this website that Jack Campbell is kind of his comp. It's about a 75% comp to
How
Jack
did
Campbell.
how did Campbell play this year? He struggled a little bit, right?
I wasn't never high on Jack Campbell coming out the draft, to be honest. Like I kind of thought the Lions kind of reached a little bit. I thought they'd have been better off taking a corner, which is proven
Hmm.
that they would have been better off doing that. I don't know. I didn't hear a lot about Jack Campbell. I mean, I guess he had a solid season. I mean, he wasn't bad enough where people were talking about him how he was a bust, but he also wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough where people were really talking about his play either. So I mean, it might just be kind of right in the middle, like of not being great, but not being terrible. Like I mean, maybe a little bit above average, I guess.
Okay. So I mean, I think Peyton Willis is a good. I mean, I would take him if I was going to take Peyton Wilson. It'd probably be third round, second, maybe third.
Yeah, I would lean more to the third. I mean, it just depends how the
Yeah.
linebackers are coming off the board. I mean, but I think that's what this draft always comes down to. It's like, what do you, the players that you want and the people that are drafted in front of you, who do they take? And that makes the biggest indicator for me of like who you should draft and how the board falls.
Cause at 6'4" though, Peyton Wilson, if you really got a good linebacker coach, good strength training in the building, you can get him to be something.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna. I mean he is 24. He'll be 24 when he starts playing in the league. So
That's the only problem.
I mean he's a little bit
With
older,
this
but
NIL, with a lot of older draft picks.
well, yeah, some of them. I mean, some of these dudes are still coming out after their third year, man. Some of these dudes is not like I think like the first round guys. Like I don't, for the most part, like they'll come out like normal. But like if you got fringe guys that aren't sure what they're gonna be in the league, then they might stay for the, I mean for the extra year of money. But it's also not bad though. Like they stay extra year, like they get more chance to develop. So it's not like they're coming into the league extra raw either. So
It depends on where you at. I'll say that.
yeah,
It give
yeah,
you
true.
extra chance to develop, but it depends on what team you playing for and kind of what scheme you under. Because a lot of these schemes, teams are starting to go away from drafting players high from those teams because they come into the league and they don't translate. Which they've been fooled by for years over. And then I still don't understand the draft combine. Like I literally watch videos of dudes literally redoing the combine for months to get perfect scores, and then come in and fool them and move from like probably somebody that should have been a fourth, third, fourth, somewhere in there. Now they're a second round or a first round pick. It's like you get fooled every year, and somebody
Yeah,
always jump on it.
yeah, but the problem is so like let's say you got really good game tape, right? And you go to the combine, you don't prepare for the combine, and you bomb the combine, like that's gonna submarine your draft position. So it's like for me, I don't never use the combine as the end all be all. Like it's like supporting information. Like for me, like the main information is the tape. Like the tape is to me is the most important thing. I mean, all 22 tape. Watching their technique. I mean, depending on the position. And then I look at the pro days and the combine just to make sure that what I see on the tape is verified at the combine or the pro day. But like there are some people that look at the combine as the main factor and they don't look at the tape. And that's kind of where you get, draft picks that are bust, or like it's not just the combine and the physical aspect of the combine, but like they also interview the players. Um, so you also got to interview the guys and kind of hear what they're saying, like, just kind of, I mean, try to get a good feel for their personality and like how much they love football and all that. And that shit kind of hard to gauge. And I'm not gonna lie, like it's hard to gauge how much one individual in their mind loves football, how much they want to play. But I mean that's just something that you kind of got to do in like the combine aspect of like not that on the field part about it, but like in the conference room part. So I mean that's just something to keep in mind.
I mean, you remember like dudes like Brian Boswell.
Yeah.
Combine was crazy, but he wasn't really all that good. And then that lineman, I can't remember his name. They made a 30 for 30 on him. Like he literally shouldn't have been drafted at all. But he took a whole last year for his college off. He just trained for the combine for months, like almost a year. And then he went in there, he had like perfect scores. He had like 30 reps, ended up running like a 4.6. He had all the perfect numbers to get drafted. I think he ended up not being on any draft boards to ended up getting taken like the second round, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, that's just, like you have teams that some scouts just look for the measurables and that's it. They don't look at the tape. But
Yeah.
that's the drawback. You don't look at the tape, you get fooled. And so like that's why like right around this time of the year, like I'm looking at a lot of, all 22 college tape, different positions, even positions that I don't even think my team is gonna draft, but just so I watch it so I could talk about it. Um, so yeah, like I mean the combine it's like I said, it's like supporting, it's like secondary, or like like secondary information. Like it's not what I depend on, but I'm making sure whatever I seen on the tape is verified by the combine. Like if you're talking about wide receivers and like you got a speed demon and you watch his game tape from his last year and that's what you see. I mean, but then he go to combine and run a 4.7, and you're like, wait, like what? Something not making sense. Like he's a speed demon at wide receiver on the tape. I mean, but when he run the 40, he run the 4.7. It doesn't. The shit don't correlate. And so it's not even just the 40 time, but it's like the shuffle times. It's just the drills too. Like you want to watch the drills, especially if you use like if you looking at the corners, like the corners, I don't care about the 40. But I mean, what I do care about is like the drills that
Cone
they
drills and
cone
all that
drills,
stuff.
like them
Yeah.
turning their hips and all that. That's what I'm looking at. Because like last year, like I wanted a corner. Like I was in between Witherspoon and Gonzalez. And then when I watched the combine and the drills, like I mean, Gonzalez was smooth as hell. Like, and that's like I wanted Gonzalez. I didn't think we were gonna get Gonzalez, but thankfully he dropped in the draft, so we got him.
Couldn't believe that one. Like I was like, man, out of all the things you do, you don't give Bill Belichick good corners and you don't give him good linebackers. And they gave him that. They were just like,
Yeah.
here's
I mean,
Christian.
I
And if
mean,
he
Chris,
didn't get hurt, he'd probably be rookie of the year.
I mean, he would have been. I would have thought he'd have been defensive rookie of the year because the numbers he was putting up when he was there against number one wide receivers was I mean kind of insane. So
Yeah, he clamped down a few good
yeah,
one wide receivers down the stretch. He gonna be a good add-on for Gerard Mayo, man, and his defensive staff next year. I mean, did,
oh,
did
yeah.
y'all keep the Belichick sons, or did they not announce that they taking the jobs or not yet?
I mean, they gave him a job offer, but seeing as his father ain't going to be working, I don't think they're going nowhere. I think they're going to be, he's probably going to make them like the secondary coach or something like that, cornerbacks coach. So, or
It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun.
maybe like cornerbacks coach and associate head coach or something like that, or who knows. So, I mean, but
I think
we'll
it's gonna
see.
be interesting for you, interesting for me. It's gonna be interesting for 32 teams. I mean, even
I
if
mean,
you win the Super Bowl, you got to figure out how to get better for the next year because somebody gonna figure out how to get better than be better than you.
yeah, I mean that's a fact.
But yeah, man, we done hit the hour 30. Y'all tune in next week. We're gonna be doing a pre-draft, early draft, mock draft. We was gonna do one this week. We're gonna move it to next week, give both of us an opportunity to get our OCs if we can.
Yeah,
To kind of see what the scheme is gonna be so we can give a more realistic draft next week, man. Anything for the people, Mick? Any last words for the people before we get up out of here?
just enjoy championship weekend, man. There's not a lot of football left, man. So just soak it up and enjoy it. That's about it.
Yeah, man. Hey, so it's gonna be fun. Load your apps up. If you're watching this late, you know what I'm saying, you coming back to rewatch it to kind of get some picks, man. Make sure you load your apps up, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with anybody else that's trying to make some bread. But hey, man, we appreciate y'all for coming to the check down. And until next time, y'all know what it is.